Hello everyone, and welcome back to Ace Attorney Justice for All. We're finally heading to trial today, and unfortunately, I have a bad feeling that the witness is gonna be Oldbag. I'm not ready for that. I'm really not. I'm still so upset that Oldbag is back. Like, on the bright side, Edgeworth came back, but Oldbag, let's just get this over with, guys. I have a feeling this trial might take a minute. Adrian did it? No, she didn't. That's what it looks like. That's what it looks like right now, but I don't think she did it. Dude, no way. That woman couldn't do anything like that. In court today, there will be a mountain of evidence that will implicate you. A mountain of evidence? I'm certain there is someone out there trying very hard to pin the whole thing on you. There is, but I don't think it's her. Please, Mr. Lawyer. Dude, like I said yesterday, I'm refreshing like a spring breeze, alright? I can't let any sort of scandal ruin that. I understand. Well, it's almost time. Eek. Ugh, that's right. I forgot how the last video ended. You took over. That's right. Ugh. Mia. We must get a complete acquittal today. I know. See, but I know we're gonna go back and investigate yet, so it's all gonna happen in one day. But I can't focus on Maya's situation right now. Or Pearl's either. No matter what, I have to focus on winning this case by the end of the day. Indeed. Well, let's get going. Oh jeez. Is it the killer? It's him. This is Wright. Good morning. This is it, Mr. Attorney, the day of the trial. Maya, she's unharmed, right? Well, when I checked on her earlier this morning, she seemed a bit, how shall we say, tired? Don't worry, people don't die that easily. Besides, what you really should be concentrating on is winning today's trial. Grr. For my sake, as well as yours, you must win today's trial for your sake. Who are you? Which is why I sent you a little present this morning. Present? What in the world would you want to give me? We'll figure it out once the trial starts. And even if you don't like my gift, I expect you to graciously accept it and win the day's contest, if you please. Wait. I don't know what he would have given me. The kidnapper sent me a present? Mr. Lawyer, dude, who is that? No one. It has nothing to do with you, so forget you heard anything. Dude, did your nose just get longer? I'm a liar. Where's Francisca? Where is she? What is now in session for the trial of Matt Angard? It's very odd that Francisca is late. That is very wacky. Are the prosecution and defense ready? The defense is ready, Your Honor. What happened to her? I say, Mr. Wright, what happened to Ms. Von Karma? Do I win by default because she's not here? I don't know, Your Honor. Why are you getting mad at me? Your Honor! Please be quiet, bailiff. Court is in session. If you must tell me something, please keep it brief. Now then, what is it? Prosecutor Von Karma has... This morning, Ms. Von Karma was shot by an unknown gunman. Oh god! So is Edgeworth gonna come in instead? Dude, we're gonna get Edgeworth instead? What? Shot. Is that the present? Did he shoot her? Somehow, I think this is the present that man was talking about. Oh my god. His present? Ms. Von Karma is one of the top prosecutors in the country at the moment. If she were to disappear, it would be to your advantage. This is totally insane. Ms. Von Karma, is she alright? I don't have that answer. But I know I'm never alright when I get whipped, so, you know. I guess this is karma. Aha, get it? Von Karma. Anyway, she's alive and in stable condition. That's good. Phew. I thought he shot. Yes! Yeah! Sorry for my reaction? Hey!
Your Honor, due to these circumstances, Ms. Francisca von Cornwall cannot appear in court today. I, Miles Edgeworth, will be taking your place.
Yeah! I mean, it's not gonna be great to be against you, but like, I don't know. I'm happy.
Prosecution is ready. Naturally.
My wacky court is back the way it should be. Oh, look at you standing over there, Edgeworth. The world is right again. Oh, if I have to be late to Mahjong, I will be happy that it will be you and Mr. Phoenix Wright doing it. Huh.
Ms. von Karma was shot in her right shoulder and is currently undergoing surgery. Luckily, I have looked this case over and am familiar with the details. The prosecution seeks to prove the guilt of Mr. Matt Ungard.
The court acknowledges the prosecution. My God, I've never been so happy.
Right. I finally found the answer I was struggling for on my long journey this past year.
Oh, how I missed you.
By the time this case comes to an end, you too will know the answer. Now then, the prosecution would like to call its first witness. Please bring Detective Gumshoe to the witness stand.
He's always the first witness.
Witness, your name and occupation, and I swear to God you better say it.
Thank you. My name's Dick Gumshoe, sir. I'm a detective down at the precinct. For now. For now? I've always been threatened to be fired. After this trial's over, I'm supposed to turn in my badge, sir. Detective Gumshoe, we know that's not gonna happen.
Prosecution has no need for a depressed witness.
Ah! Oh, I missed you so much.
Lift your head up and face forward like a proud officer, Detective Dick Gumshoe.
Yes, sir.
Now, let's have your testimony. If we want to explore the various facets of this case, we must start with that. Get ready, Phoenix. It's going to be one very rough fight.
Yeah. It would have to be with Edgeworth as my opponent. It would have to be with Edgeworth as my opponent. The answer he was struggling for. Interesting. Show me this answer you finally found, Edgeworth. Maybe Phoenix will stop being mean to you.
This murder happened after the Hero of Heroes Award ceremony, sir. The victim, Juan Carrito, was found dead in his hotel room. After looking into the cause of death, we believe he was definitely murdered, sir. At first, we thought there was something suspicious about the empty guitar case. However, we later found out that the guitar case had nothing to do with the murder. After the award ceremony ended, the victim was alone in his room. Yes, sir. But the victim and defendant went alone to their room, sir.
I see. Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination. Okay. I have a few that I'm interested in. First being... Hold on. This one. That's definitely a murder. The cause of death. Wasn't that because Mr. Carrito was stabbed in the chest?
Only a careless amateur would believe something so brainless as that, pal.
Take a good hard look at the crime photo. Now, a real pro's attention will be drawn here to this bandana. Where? Oh, around his neck? Banana. His bandana, sir. That's the thing wrapped tightly around his neck, sir? Ah, yes, I see. His banana-scented bandana. I'm very hungry. Okay, well, then what about the knife? It seems to be stuck in the victim's chest on purpose after his death, which just goes to immediately prove that someone was trying to set him up. Because it has Matt's fingerprints on it. Why else would you put a knife in him after the fact? We have a crafty murderer on our hands here. Time of death, 8:15. Cause, strangled with a scarf, then stabbed with a knife. Okay. Why did you think there was something suspicious about the guitar case? Why did you think that?
Because it was empty, pal.
Pajama Ninja doesn't go anywhere without his bright red guitar. We couldn't find it anywhere at the scene of the crime. Oh, then how about this theory? A fan really wanted the guitar and did the crime to get it. How's that? It definitely wasn't me. We thought that too, but... The only fingerprints on the guitar case were the victims. Only the victims, huh? I see. So much for my theory then. It's okay, Judge, you tried. Empty. There's some water, but only on the top of the lid. Bears Karita's fingerprints. The guitar had nothing to do with... Or the guitar case had nothing to do with the murder. What convinced you it had nothing to do with the case? The guitar wasn't at the Gatewater Hotel that night. Well then, where was it? The bright red guitar was eventually found at the TV studio. The victim, Juan Karita, had apparently only taken the case with him, sir, but why? So you mean he forgot to put the guitar inside the case? You would notice that immediately, though, that you're holding an empty case, as opposed to one with a heavy guitar in it. Yes, sir. Even when he was on stage for the ceremony, he didn't have his guitar. So that guitar case was empty even before he got to the hotel? Yeah, that's right. So it really had nothing to do with the case after all.
I believe that is enough. First, the victim was choked to death with his bandana, not banana. Then, after the victim was dead, the killer deliberately stabbed him with a knife. Which brings me to my next point. Why then did the police arrest Matt Engard? Because there was reason enough to suspect him.
Here it comes. Looks like Edgeworth's back in full swing. Yeah. Very well. Detective Gumshoe, please testify about this matter. Yes, sir. Matt Engard and Juan Karita were huge rivals with each other. They each thought that the other guy was in the way. That's motive enough in my book. As for evidence, there's the Jammin' Ninja's button. It was ripped off of the ninja's costume and was found in Mr. Engard's Hakama. The defendant's fingerprints were also all over the knife. The defendant bought the knife for the crime, which makes this a premeditated murder. Did he though? Did he buy it? I don't think there's any way to prove that. I thought it just came from the hotel. So the defendant's fingerprints were found on the knife used in the stabbing. It was sort of sticky on the handle, so the fingerprints came out pretty clearly, sir. Here's the victim's blood and Engard's fingerprints. And the grip Gatewater is engraved. Okay. So I'm gonna have to present the knife on that statement because he did not buy it. It belongs to the hotel. And there's this button. That was found in the defendant's clothes, was it? And is this button also covered in blood? Or perhaps it's ketchup? Or paint? Or maybe even... Judge, not again. Red icing, Judge! Yeah, and we know that the blood on it is the victim's blood, sir. What? It was ripped from his costume, is covered in Karita's blood, found at Engard's Hakama. All of this points very clearly to the defendant, doesn't it? I missed you, Bowegg.
Yes, it most certainly does, Your Honor. Ready to give in yet, right?
I'll find the hole in your argument somehow.
You can press as hard as you'd like. Just hurry up with your useless, pointless questions.
Oh, come on, Phoenix. Didn't you miss him too? Why arrest Engard? I don't think I actually have to press on anything. I think I have to present the knife on that statement. Yeah. He bought the knife for the crime. No, he did not. Wait a second. What? So the basis of your argument that this was a premeditated murder is simply that my client bought a knife beforehand? That's right, pal. The defendant did not buy this knife. Huh? Take a good look at the handle of this knife, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Huh? There's a Gatewater seal set into the handle. Gatewater? I think I've heard that name somewhere before. It's the name of the hotel, buddy. That's the name of the hotel. The Gatewater Hotel. Did you not know where you were going all these days? Uh-oh. The murder knife was actually property of the hotel, which means this murder was not premeditated. Yes, that is very true. This is a very big... What is it, Mr. Edgeworth? Are you about to do something wacky in my wacky court?
I'm sorry, but the defense is simply too careless.
What?
I think whether the crime was premeditated or not has already been determined.
How so?
I admit this knife is hotel property. There is no one currently on the police force that is dumb enough to not realize this.
I didn't... Oh. Poor Gumshoe. At least you're not getting whipped. Francisco will be whipping you for that.
The question is, where did this knife come from?
Why, that's obvious. It came from the victim, Mr. Garita's room.
Sorry, Your Honor, but that is incorrect. The victim ate a last meal before he was murdered. With that being the case, I would like to draw the court's attention to what is on top of the table.
A knife. There's a knife and a fork on the table. Then, where in the world did this knife come from?
If it pleases the court, I would like for us to recall the room of the defendant, Mr. Matt Engard.
Oh, there's a missing knife.
Especially what was on top of his table. There is something missing. Perhaps it was a single knife. We investigated the leftover dishes for fingerprints, and while we were investigating, we came to the conclusion that Mr. Matt Engard's knife was missing. Mr. Engard has gone to the victim's room with the knife he had used during dinner. Why would he carry a knife on a visit? To kill, of course. And with that, I believe the prosecution has proven it was a premeditated murder.
Amazing, Mr. Edgeworth. Absolutely brilliant. A brilliantly clear deduction. Oh, I've missed you in this court.
Seems like Edgeworth had this planned from the very beginning.
This must be one of those traps, and I just walked headlong into it. A murder weapon with the fingerprints and a button from the victim's costume. There's quite a sizable amount of evidence here.
I can safely say that any further deliberation is a waste of time. A waste of your Honor's time. Although, I wouldn't mind if the defense were to present evidence not yet shown in the court.
Evidence not yet shown? Edgeworth?
He means evidence that the court hasn't seen yet. In other words, new evidence.
What does the defense have to say about this, Mr. Wright? Well...
Phoenix. The judge is favoring the prosecution right now because he's so happy Edgeworth is back. If we answer with something wrong here...
that gavel of his will be ringing out the sound of our defeat.
Mr. Wright, you have something important and necessary to present to this court.
Do I? I'm sure I do. If Edgeworth is prompting it, I'm sure I do. There's one. The question is does Edgeworth already know that? Because we saw it at the end of the last game. Yeah, he was against us, but he was also kind of helping us too. One piece of evidence that catches my attention. Something that this court has yet to see.
Mr. Wright, I will say this one more time. I do not feel this trial needs to continue at all.
But you feel that every time, Judge. You got me there.
However, I am giving you one chance, and only one.
What the judge is saying, right? Please don't try pulling one of your usual bluffs here.
Why does everyone always say this? I never bluff. If I mess this up, it's curtains for all of us.
You may now present one and only one piece of evidence. Now then, what is this important evidence that you must show to the court?
Is it this wine glass? Oh, next to the victim, it's filled with tomato juice. No sign it's been drank. There's like all the weird stuff with the wine glasses that we took notice of. And like the tomato juice.
This is a wine glass, is it not? Let's get drunk.
No, please look at the photo of the crime scene one more time. The scene is a mess because of the victim's struggle against his assailant. The vase was broken, his makeup all over the floor. These were all things that were at one point sitting on top of the dresser.
Well, yes, I see your point.
However, this glass that is sitting on top of the dresser is mysteriously untouched. The only thing that had not fallen over with everything else is this wine glass. This piece of evidence is more than strange enough to warrant further consideration.
No one thinks so, do they?
Well, what do you all have to say?
Well, yes, it is a little peculiar.
Yes, isn't it? I thought it was.
You can stop looking at me with those puppy dog eyes of yours now. You know how much I love them, but it's not going to work on me. Mr. Edgeworth.
What is it, Your Honor?
Your opinion.
You don't need my opinion. Because there is no special meaning to that glass.
What?
It's safe to say that the glass was set there after the crime took place. For the person who discovered the body, Adrian Andrews, for example, she could have easily been so shocked that she set the glass down without thinking.
That does sound very plausible. Mr. Wright?
Does Andrews really have set that glass down without thinking?
I'm gonna say no.
If I appear weak here, the trial is over. I can look for my proof later. For now, I should trust my instinct and point with certainty.
You might fall for it if you're thought-provoking enough.
The defense would like to challenge the prosecution's theory. We would like to see something that proves it was Miss Andrews who set that cup on the table.
You've turned the situation on its head yet again, as usual. This is why I love you. Mr. Edgeworth, do you have any proof to back up your claim?
There's no way he has any. He's just bluffing.
Unlike Mr. Wright, I never say anything unless I have the evidence to support it.
What? That's why I love you, Edgeworth.
You're not thinking hard enough today, Wright. Do you think this wine glass escaped my notice?
Then...
Of course, it has been thoroughly inspected for fingerprints.
Fingerprints?
There are only one set of fingerprints left on this wine glass.
Only one? Well, whose were they?
They were not the victims, nor the defendants. Rather, they were one Adrian Andrews.
What? Found next to the victim, it's filled with tomato juice. Where's Andrew's fingerprints?
That is why I said that the person who discovered the body had left it there. Are we done here, Mr. Wright?
Ugh, I can't believe I fell into another trap. It's been too long since I faced you, Edgeworth.
Miss Andrews was probably holding the glass when she went to see Mr. Corrida.
But was there tomato juice in Matt's room? Like, why was she just carrying this tomato juice around?
But upon seeing his dead body, she was stunned and set the glass down on the dresser.
What you just said makes a lot of sense.
Just tisk. Now do you see, right? You can't change any part of my scenario as it explains everything all too well.
Gah.
I've thought long and hard this past year about what it means to be a prosecutor. And from here on out, I will show you the answer I have come to discover.
But wait a second, Mr. Edgeworth. I think the prosecution has provided enough evidence for me to enter my verdict.
Unfortunately, I cannot allow you to pass judgment yet. I'm on a roll, okay? I'm having my big moment. Judge, I'm back after all this time. Let me have this. The prosecution has yet another witness we would like the court to hear from.
Another witness?
Yes. Bailiff, please bring in the next witness. What in the world is Edgeworth thinking?
Is it Oldbag? Yeah.
Now then, witness, please state your name and occupation.
Edgeworth, you also hate her. This is gonna be rough for you. Back to this.
Witness, your name and occupation, please.
Ugh. Gotcha.
Ugh.
I wonder what happened to that calm composure he had earlier.
Oh, edgy boy, it's been what, a year since we last met, hasn't it? You should be more happy to see me.
No. I know exactly how he feels right now.
I saw the report with her testimony, but who knew that under that helmet? It was the wicked witch of the witness stand.
I tell you, this time, I know what I'm supposed to do. So today, I'm gonna tell you anything and everything. Even things that don't have to do with that terrible crime. This witness, that terrible crime is all the court needs to know. Oh! Shush, I'm talking to my dear edgy wedgie right now.
I hate Oldbag, but when she uses that gun, it kills me. It's so funny to me. Oh. Ah! I hate when you do that.
Don't interrupt us, Gramps. Yes, madam.
No, please, by all means, interrupt her, please.
Oh, I love him. Oh, you're such a mood.
Anyway, witness, your testimony, please.
It's true what they say, that youth are hot-headed nowadays. Not that I mind at all edgy. Now then, what should I start with?
Witness on the security detail at the hotel on the night of the murder. Is this correct, Ms. Oldbag?
It was a great job being able to see my dearie, Juan. It was almost too much for my little heart to handle. You mean you're a fan of the victim? Look, everyone is crazy over that Engard, saying he's cute in a fresh way or something. But not me. I wouldn't say anything so silly. After all, I have no interest in a little child like him. I'm only interested in a real man, Juan Carita.
But those two were the same age?
Anyway, as I was saying, I was pacing in front of his room that night.
Very well, please tell the court what you witnessed the night of the murder.
Leave it to me, edgy poo.
I hate you.
I'm so glad Edgeworth is on the same page as me.
Anyway, after the ceremony, I went to pace around in the hallway in front of his room. There was something I was interested in finding out, you know. Well, since I was on the job, I made sure to keep a good eye out the whole time. That's when someone showed up. It was a man coming out of poor Juan's room. It was Engard, not Engard. He was trying to sneak his way out of Juan's room. So Mr. Engard came out of the victim's room. See, it has to be him. He's the murderer. I see. Well, Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination.
Okay, let's fight, Oldbag.
So?
How do you know that? What was he wearing? You saw my client. Are you sure about that?
Yesy.
Really?
Annoying brat. I say I saw someone. I saw that person.
Why do I get a sense of deja vu? Maybe to avoid a repeat of last year, I should delve into this a bit further. The person's clothes, what were they wearing? He wasn't wearing his nickel samurai outfit, was he? Please tell the court about the man's clothes in more detail.
What a troublesome man you are. Really, as if something like that matters.
But it does.
Now what was it? Oh yes, it was that thing.
What thing?
That gaudy thing he's always wearing. That racing jacket.
Oh, he was wearing that at the detention center too.
That thing's meant for nothing but seducing women out of their pantaloons. Humph, men.
Right.
So, Mr. Wright, was this testimony just now important or relevant in any way?
Yeah, it was totally important, Judge. Of course it was important, Your Honor.
Then perhaps you would like to point out what part of the testimony was important.
Crap. You got me. Don't you see it, Edgeworth? Your Honor, I request what the witness said about the jacket to be appended to her testimony.
I don't quite see where you're going with this, but alright. Witness, please. Ah, well, I don't like to badmouth anyone without reason, but if I must. He's wearing his flashy racing jacket. Honestly, it's all just for show.
So what am I supposed to do? Do I have to I feel like I have to present something? There's a reason that this has been added.
The button was found in something other than his jacket. It's found in the Hakama. Gotcha. Miss Oldbag. Ah! Fool! You would think that I would be prepared for it.
What? Don't say my name for no reason.
Do you know what this is?
Yeah. It's button number 2 on the German Ninja's costume.
Now I know she's an obsessed fan. She's identified it in a single glance.
Give it here. Give it here. If you don't give it to me, I'll punish you with this.
Oh no! Wow, she really is a diehard fan. Want a button covered in blood. This button was discovered on Mr. Engard's body during a full-body search.
See? See? This button proves beyond a shadow of a doubt it was that rascal Engard.
It was caught up in the pleats of the Nickel Samurai's Hakama pants.
See? See? And Engard is the Nickel Samurai.
Witness. Now, it may just be me, and I do have an active imagination, but just now, didn't you say that the defendant, Matt Engard, was wearing his usual racing jacket? Please don't make the face.
Ah, I'm so sorry. Sorry that you judge people based on what they wear. If I wore that trendiest dress, but instead I had to put up with wearing this outfit is hideous, right? I've got the tape recorder. It's heavy, so heavy I wish we would scream alive for all the kids out there. Understand? Now, take a look in the mirror. Your clothes are documentary on curling. Something about edgy poo. I have no clue what she just said. Now, hold your tongue still there for 1 second. So what you saw in actuality was not Mr. Engard, the man, but Mr. Engard, the Nickel Samurai. But when you think about it, they're really one and the same anyway.
God, here we go again. This Oldbag, this is very important. This is a very important point we're talking about.
Edgy poo, do you think so too?
Well, it might be something worth considering.
Just say it's important and agree with me for a change.
Witness, think carefully and try to remember as much as you can before you testify. All right, if you insist.
I should be the one sighing, not you. Who I saw.
Engard, yes, now I remember. Nickel Samurai, that's right. It was the Nickel Samurai that I saw. Yes, it would have been convenient for him to wear his costume during the murder. He had to go to that post-ceremony stage show right after the crime, you know. So he must have worn that Nickel Samurai costume when he was stabbing poor Juan.
I knew it. I knew you'd say he was inside that costume.
What? Do you think that could have been someone else inside that costume? Don't be a bad little boy thinking about such rude things.
But the possibility does exist.
Ah, youngins today, I told you, there's no way it was anyone else. How do you know that? Because I said so, and what I say is the truth.
At least she's just as delightful a witness as she was a year ago.
Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness.
So to me, it doesn't make sense that... Well, none of this makes sense. But, where's the statement? Yeah, he must have worn it while he was stabbing. His fingerprints wouldn't have been on it then. So would it? Is it the fingerprints? The costume? That's what I think, anyway. Please take a look at this. Well, there also would have been blood on his costume, too, which there wasn't.
Yeah, so it's a knife. Big deal. Trying to scare me with that, I'll have you know. It won't work.
No, that's not my intention at all.
That's the knife that was used in the murder, correct?
Your Honor, do you know why this piece of evidence is important to this case?
You don't even have to ask. It's because the defendant's fingerprints are on it.
Was I right?
Is that what you're driving at?
That is exactly what I'm driving at.
What are we driving at? And whose car are we driving? What kind of car is it?
If Mr. Engard was really in the Nickel Samurai costume at the time of the murder, then it's impossible for his fingerprints to have been left on this knife. Yes, I was right! Actually, he would have wiped all previous fingerprints on this knife right off.
Oh, that's right. Nickel Samurai wears gloves, doesn't he?
He probably took his gloves off before he began the stabbing.
And why would he do something like that? To leave his prints on the murder weapon? There is no way he would do something like that.
However, there is one possibility.
Then let's hear your possibility.
It's very simple. The defendant went to the victim's room while in costume as the Nickel Samurai. At that time, the defendant held no intent to murder. He was probably just going to relax and talk with the victim about the stage show. Which is why he took his gloves off.
But the murder still did take place.
It's well known that there was bad blood between the defendant and the victim.
Yes, I have heard that before. Rivalry. Well, Mr. Wright, what do you have to say about Mr. Edgeworth's theory?
So let me get this straight. Edgeworth's theory goes like this. When the defendant went to the victim's room, he had no intention of killing him. If that was the case, he would have had to bring the knife. Like what? Right? That doesn't make any sense. Now up to this point, are there any problems with this theory? Yeah. There... Okay. Hold on. I need to make sure my things are still recording. Hold on. Okay, my apologies. That was weird. I, moved slightly, and then, the volume was no longer playing out of my headphones. It was playing out of the system for a second. So, that was weird. Anyways, as I was saying, there is a contradiction. This theory contradicts something in an earlier testimony.
What are you babbling about?
Now, for argument's sake, let's suppose Mr. Engard was the killer. If that's the case, I think it's impossible for the killer to have gone to the victim's room without intent. Because of the knife, once again. This knife. This was used by Mr. Engard at dinner.
Yes, we did establish that.
Which means that if my client was in fact the killer, then he brought this knife with him when he went to visit Mr. Kurita.
I suppose.
However, you just said it yourself. At that time, the defendant held no intent to murder. If that were true, then why would he bring a knife? He wouldn't, would he? Which means, Mr. Edgeworth, your theory was flawed from supposition 1. And one more thing. If the murderer was wearing the costume at the time of the murder, then there should be glove marks left on the knife. Which means the defendant's fingerprints shouldn't be all over it like bees on a hive. And that brings me to my final point. This knife was planted by the real killer to hide their identity and mislead us.
Order. Order, I say. Order in the court. Was this knife really planted by the killer? Why would the murderer do such a thing?
To frame Matt Engard. It's to frame my client, Mr. Engard, of course.
To frame?
Aren't you forcing the interpretation just a little too hard on this one?
But we just established that the witness saw the Nickel Samurai in costume. And if that were true, then there shouldn't be a single fingerprint on this knife.
Ugh. Witness! You're doing this to me again?
Looks like I've made your life a tiny bit more difficult, huh, Edgy Poo?
Ugh.
Witness, did you or did you not really see the Nickel Samurai? Well, I guess at first I might have forgotten, but...
Or are you saying you mixed up Mr. Engard with the Nickel Samurai, his character on TV?
But I mean, I can't really do anything about that now. Look, I was waiting around in the front of their doors because, well, I wasn't waiting around for the Nickel Samurai, that's for sure.
She wasn't waiting for the Nickel Samurai. Alright then, who were you waiting around for then?
Oh, that's top secret to anyone outside of security. I have a feeling that you were waiting for Mr. Juan Carita. Am I correct, witness? Haha. The way you think. You're a sad amateur with a terrible case of nearsightedness. Amateur? Me? What am I an amateur of? I'm good at so many things, like being a judge, and mahjong, and eating dinner, and recess.
So, Oldbag was waiting around in front of the victim's room. But it doesn't sound like she was waiting to catch a glimpse of Mr. Carita.
Maybe, Phoenix. Maybe the old bag was waiting around for that person.
It's who I think Mia's hinting at. It's certainly possible. Ms. Oldbag, you were waiting for this person to come out of the victim's room, weren't you? Andrews. Because of the... rumor.
Who is this person?
This is Adrian Andrews, Mr. Engard's manager.
But why would the defendant's manager be in the victim's room?
It seems that this is the latest rumor in circulation, Your Honor.
Oh, this is... Well, this is... I see. Scandalous.
The judge seems to be really into that article, if it can be called such thing.
Then this manager with the initials AA, are you saying that it's...
Adrian Andrews, without a doubt. The witness thought so as well.
Oh, looks like you found me out. Well, that's fine. I can throw away the whole sworn to confidentiality stuff then. Witness, what in the world are you...
Watch out, Phoenix. I've got a bad feeling about this. A very bad feeling.
Oh, no.
I got some information. It's very secret information from a certain source. That's why I was doing my own little investigation. In secret, of course. But what for? Oh, just for myself. Personal reasons and all that. Well, Mr. Edgeworth, how will you proceed from here?
I really don't want to do this. However, I cannot simply let this point slide.
I see. Very well then. Witness, please testify about this secret information. Get ready. This is going to take the wind out of you youngins.
I'm sure we're all capable of handling this. Probably. It's not like we're 10 years old. Okay. Ugh. I swear they did it on purpose. They want to jump scare you with that. Because it's like, every time her helmet comes off and it's that face.
That Engard is one evil man.
Oh god. It was doing it again. Oh god. Oh. Ah! Oh god. It keeps doing it. I think I have to, like, hold the controller so specifically. Okay.
That Engard is one evil man. He thought he could ruin poor Juan by causing a huge scandal. To do that, he sent his own manager to getting close with Juan. I cannot condone such dirty tricks, so I took action. Oh, and this is top secret, you got that? Nobody else but you and me know yet, okay?
A lot of people know. What are you talking about?
The defendant sent his manager. What a distasteful topic for this court. What? Nobody's above gossip. And isn't there a saying, the truth is never pleasant?
Never heard that one before.
Mr. Edgeworth, what about this Adrian Andrews person?
We've looked into this matter and found that the truth the article proposes is in fact baseless gossip.
But should this be true? This proves that the defendants did bear ill will towards the victim.
So this means I have to smash this rumor once and for all.
Now then, Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness.
Be careful. The old bag seems rather excited right now.
Ah, yeah, she does.
That's right, and God is nothing but your average foul-blooded youth.
Well, as the old saying goes, you've got to burn old bags with fire. Time to fire up the afterburners and hit the highway to the danger zone.
Stop making that face. I think I'm gonna press you on the last one. How it's top secret? 'Cause it's really not top secret.
Wait.
What? I'm a busy woman. Tea time with the kids is over.
Secret information that no one else knows yet? If that's true, then how do you know this secret information?
Well, that's because I'm a pro. Yes, that's it. It's a secret. Even if you drill the hole into my brain, you'll never find out.
How in the world did that old bat get such a secret piece of information?
Did you steal Lotta's camera, maybe?
Did you steal her camera? Because Lotta knew. So no one else is supposed to know this secret information, correct? If that's true, then why do you know it, Ms. Oldbag?
Why are you looking at me like that? Stop that.
Why do you look at me like that? Witness. I hate to say it, but this is how you came to acquire your secret info, isn't it? You... Lotta's camera. You stole it. The investigative photographer, Lotta Hart.
Oh yes, I remember that mischievous girl.
She reported that she had lost a certain note she had written to herself.
She reported such a thing.
On that piece of paper, she had written down some of her outrageous, I was like, what? Say, or impressions about the relationship between the victim and Ms. Andrews.
What? Outrageous ideas, you say?
No. I said impressions.
Then. And everything written on this piece of paper is completely meaningless?
That's it. That's the note.
No, you see, this is something completely different. This is my top secret list of groceries to buy. Then you are the one who took Ms. Hart's note. That is theft. I'm a huge fan of Juan's, that's why. That infamous puffy-haired whippersnapper. She's working with that evil Engard. She said so herself. Engard, I'm his sidekick. She was so happy, smiling like a silly duck. I was only checking what she had written. Edgy Poo, you believe me, don't you?
No, of course I don't. Ugh.
I was only trying to help out like the angel I am. It's only one little piece of paper. I've never taken anything else before.
You really should come with a supply of cheese to match with your vintage wine.
Well, it was only a piece of paper. I suppose we can overlook this just this once.
She looks like she's really sorry. Should I forgive her? No, I should probably pile on more pressure. If I let up on her now, she'll get away. I have to find some way to inflict a deafening blow to the prosecution. Witness, you said that the only thing you stole was that note. Is this correct? Yeah, you would have stolen the camera too.
Stole? Why don't you listen more carefully, you annoying brat? I saved this piece of paper from the terrible lonely trash can, that's all.
You're lying, damn it, and I can prove it.
Are you putting my credibility under scrutiny again?
Ms. Oldbag. I don't believe that the note is the only thing that you stole that night. You stole the camera too. Oops. Wrong direction. Ms. Oldbag. That note was with a camera inside its case, wasn't it?
camera?
Yesterday, Lotta Hart was raising a huge stink over her camera. She kept saying something like, "My sweetie $1,600 camera has disappeared on me."
Why, witness. What is it, Gramps?
If you have the note, then it is only logical that you have the camera too.
Ugh. Looks like you found me out again, Sonny. Is this the camera you're looking for?
That's...
What? Even though I look like this, I'm still a person, you know. I still eat meals like you. I fall in love and borrow things from people. I think your definition of borrow is a little off. Is this theft? I saw that woman's business card, and that's when I noticed it said, Slimebag Celebrity Photographer Extraordinaire. So when I saw that, I had to know what sort of pictures she had taken. I'm a professional security guard, and it's my business to know these things. Bailiff, check this camera's photos, hurry. You must examine them at once.
Oh, Oldbag, you always make things so difficult. You stole from Lotta.
Well, Mr. Edgeworth, what do we have?
There is only one photo that seems to be relevant to this case.
Please present it to the court.
Not again.
This is the Nickel Samurai.
It's always someone in a costume. We can never tell if it's actually like them or not. Here we go again.
See, I told you. That's the guy I saw. This proves that the witness was not lying about this matter.
Picture taken in the hallway right after the murder.
But what does this all mean, Mr. Edgeworth?
This photo by itself does not prove that the person in it is the defendant. However, in his own confession, Mr. Ongard clearly stated that, at the time of the murder, he was still in his Nickel Samurai costume.
If that is the case, then this Nickel Samurai is
the defendant.
How did it come to this? I think this brings us to the end. I've examined every piece of evidence thoroughly. Final comments, Mr. Wright. The court will consider them before we close.
We've barely looked at that picture.
You agree that this photo is decisive evidence against your client.
If this photo really is decisive, then we're done for. If I raise an objection here and blow it, then I would put Maya's life in jeopardy. I can't make a mistake here. There's only one road out of this mess. This photo that Lotta took, there's something strange with it. There's gotta be. I just don't know what. There's something strange with this photo.
I knew this was coming, right?
Your thoughts, Mr. Edgeworth?
I think we can all agree there is nothing strange with this photo. There is no way for the defense to debunk this photo, even with a bunker buster.
Debunk with a bunker buster? Is that what you plan on doing, Mr. Wright?
Anyway, please look at this photo one more time. I'm ignoring you, Judge.
Hey, you really believe you can honestly find something wrong with this photo? Then you should only need one chance, correct?
Well, I have to find something wrong with this photo. I can't let this chance go by. Where in the heck did she take this photo from anyway? It's all out of focus. Why can't you take a good shot, especially when it counts?
Now then, let's hear your objection. What about this photo is strange?
I have no clue, dude. Okay, so I had to look that up because I had no clue. I don't know how I would ever have gotten this. It's apparently this white part, like right here, and I have to hope that I'm pressing it correctly because if I get it wrong, it's an immediate game over. There. I would like to direct the court's attention to this one area right here.
What are you pointing to? His ankles?
If you could see this person's ankles, that would be one thing. However, you can't.
And what does that mean?
I hope that I pointed at the right spot. The costume person in this photo could not have been that of Mr. Ongard.
What is the meaning of this?
I wonder if you would care to elaborate with actual facts, that is.
Let's take a look at the Nickel Samurai's poster. I don't know how I was supposed to figure that out. Dude, how would I know? Please pay particular attention to the area around the bottom of the hakama.
His socks. You can see his socks. How would I...
Yeah, I'm glad I looked that up. How would I have ever figured that out? I don't remember what the Nickel Samurai looks like. Exactly. However, in this photo, the Nickel Samurai is clearly holding his hakama up just to walk. There's only one explanation for this. The person inside this costume is clearly much shorter than the defendant. Alright, I think I've turned things around for myself this time.
That's curious.
Huh? What is?
Edgeworth is unusually calm today.
Which usually isn't a good thing for us. That's true.
He's just letting the trial run itself, as if he's only along for the ride. Maybe he is.
Along for the ride? What do you mean by that?
I can only guess that perhaps he doesn't feel under attack at all.
He doesn't feel under attack? We haven't damaged his case at all. Right. When the other side is calm, that's never a good thing.
Mr. Edgeworth, where does this leave us? If the person in this photo is not Matt Engard, then everything the prosecution has tried to prove has become meaningless.
I figured it would come to this.
What?
Right, I have something I want to ask you. I think you have proven that the person inside this costume is not Matt Engard. In that case, who is this a photo of?
Who is the person wearing the Nickel Samurai costume?
Don't stress out over this, Phoenix. It's very simple. What you should be focused on is Edgeworth's attitude, don't you think?
Yeah. Why is he so calm?
Mr. Wright, let's hear your thoughts. Who is the person in this photograph?
It's gotta be Andrews. Like, there's no one else that it could be.
Why is she wearing it, though?
Adrian Andrews.
If you want to know who that Nickel Samurai is, it is none other than this woman.
And why would you say it must be Miss Andrews? What in the world points you to her?
For starters, she's short. And she can freely move in and out of Mr. Engard's room. Finally, she had dinner with Mr. Engard that night.
And how does that all add up?
It means that it makes it very easy for her to get a certain item. A certain knife with Mr. Engard's fingerprints all over it.
The knife that was used as a murder weapon.
Why don't you just say what it is you want, Wright?
I have to do this now. This is my last chance to turn things around. The defense moves to indict Ms. Adrian Andrews in the murder of Juan Carita. It was Ms. Andrews who tried to frame the defendant for the crime. It can't be, because we still have the other half of this trial to go. Plus more investigating and more trial. But why is she in the costume then?
Order, order, order. It looks like this trial has hit a most unexpected development. Mr. Edgeworth.
Yes, Your Honor?
This court is issuing a subpoena for Ms. Adrian Andrews. The verdict cannot be passed without first hearing her testimony.
Alright, this is it.
This is kind of bad for us.
Huh? What do you mean?
If Adrian Andrews is summoned to court as a witness, it means that the trial will go on for another day.
One more day? Ugh. If I don't get a verdict today, then Maya. We're gonna have to investigate today yet too. Like, this is gonna be a long day.
Now then, we shall set Ms. Andrews' testimony for tomorrow.
Well, what am I supposed to do? The judge is about to adjourn the court. I guess, raise an objection?
Now then.
Please, Your Honor, continue the trial. You must pass a verdict today.
I'm late for Mahjong. I can't do that. We cannot hear Ms. Andrews' testimony if she is not.
Edgeworth, I abhor wasting such valuable time.
Edgeworth?
Your Honor, I request that you please continue with today's trial.
But we cannot continue due to this unexpected development.
This unexpected development? Oh, I think you underestimate me, Your Honor.
Did he already plan for this?
And what do you mean by that?
That Mr. Phoenix Wright would slave his way, disappearing Miss Adrian Andrews is all happening according to plan. Even if Wright was a bit slow to catch on.
Oh, what?
What is the meaning of your statement, Mr. Edgeworth?
Miss Adrian Andrews is currently waiting in the prosecution's lobby. She is the next witness.
Everything was planned out in advance by that man. He's so smart.
Somehow I knew there was no way Edgeworth would overlook Miss Andrews. Looks like this battle is far from over. Exactly.
Very well. We'll call the next witness. However, before we proceed, we should take a 10-minute recess. I need a slide break. Please prepare your witness in that time, Mr. Edgeworth. The court will now take a 10-minute recess.
To be continued. I'm still like, how are we gonna get this all in one day? Oh, time to save. Oh man. Okay. It can't be Andrews though. If it's her in the costume, I don't know why she's doing that. Does she have an accomplice or something like that actually did it? I don't know. It just feels like it's way too early to know who it is and for it to be her. And she's like the only person we've met. I don't know. I'm also trying to figure out like what Edgeworth is up to. Like how much does he know? How much of this case does he have figured out? Because he clearly had all that already figured out. Oh my god, I am so happy that he's back now though. Like I like Francisca, but oh my god, the trial is so much more fun with him. That's just because he's my favorite probably, but I really like him. I didn't have to be whipped. He's just so funny and like hating Oldbag. He still can't get witnesses to say their name. He's so smart and calculated. I just love Edgeworth, and that was amazing. I don't know if, like, I would assume that Francisca's probably gonna be back at some point. Actually, maybe not. Because if she's getting surgery, maybe she's gonna be out for this whole case. I mean, I won't complain if I'm against Edgeworth the whole time. It just feels weird that for the last case, Francisca wouldn't be here. But again, not complaining. Yeah, okay. Next time, we'll do the next half of this trial, and we'll see where that goes. I'll be very interested to talk to Andrews, though, because I'm still not convinced that it was her. So, I'm curious to find out what she knows and what she's hiding. But for now, I'm gonna go ahead and go. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!